So here we have the Launchpad Pro. The first thing you notice is that we have our RGBs on LEDs for the pads themselves. So we've got this really nice method of being able to refer to where we are in Ableton Live just by looking down at the Launchpad. So with the session page, we have our usual sort of control. We can easily navigate our way around the session page in Ableton Live and launch clips. Now we've added some new features as well. So whereas previously on the Launchpad and the Launchpad S we had a mixer button here, we've actually placed our mixer controls permanently at the bottom. So if I want to go and change a volume very quickly, tap volume, make the volume change, very easy. We also got a slightly different way of kind of navigating our way around. I can either just stay in the volume page, or if I want to quickly visit the volume page and then move back to the session page, the page I'm working in, I can press and hold volume, make that volume change, and when I release the button, we jump straight back to the session page. So, I'm going to record on this track here, and I'm going to move to the next mode, which is note mode. And in note mode, I now have the ability to play and control my drum racks and any instruments that we might have loaded in. So in this instance, I have a drum rack open in Ableton, and I can easily play my pads. If I want to record, I can easily do so. I'm just going to turn quantize off there just for a second, hit record, and record in. So now I'm able to just easily record my parts into here, press the record button again, and now I've captured my clip directly into Ableton. Okay, so now that I've done this, if I press the note button again, we'll open up the clip, and we can see that I'm a little bit out of time. So this now will allow me to use the quantize feature, and by pressing quantize, we just tighten up the notes here. Now if I move to another track, and this is a pitched instrument now, I now have the ability to play my instruments here, and again I can record in. This time we have a chromatic keyboard. We have the purple notes represent octaves, the blue lights represent the white notes of a keyboard, and the unlit sections here represent really, I suppose, the black notes on a keyboard as well. So again, if I press my note mode, you can see here my instruments, and I'm going to move to device mode now. And in device mode, each of these rows, columns of buttons becomes like a fader controller, and I can use this to control my devices. So here we have an instrument. If I want to start to make changes, I can easily control the device by using the faders, if you like, the buttons here. Now you'll notice as well as when I push that we get a nice slow movement. We have a velocity sensitive set of pads on Launchpad Pro, so that's great for expressive playing with your instruments, but we can also use the velocity sensitivity to apply what we call fader glide. So if I press the button really hard, we'll instantly jump to that position. But if I use a light amount of velocity when I push the button, you see we get a nice smooth transition with that control. So this again just increases the ability to control things in a nice smooth fashion. Alongside the device mode, we've also got a user mode. In user mode, we're not set up to demonstrate that just here at the moment, but we can use this to create our own light shows great for YouTube videos and live performances. So that's the Launchpad Pro with Ableton Live. However, an important thing to note about the Launchpad Pro is if I can just pick that up and just turn that around so you can see, we have MIDI input and MIDI output on Launchpad Pro. Also, next to the USB, you see we have space for a power supply. Now, at the moment, this is being powered happily by the computer, but if we wanted to, we could use the Launchpad Pro without being connected to a computer. So if we press the setup button, I have a note mode. If I go to this one, we have a drum pad mode as well. So it says drum, and then we go into this mode, and I can use this to control drum pads. And also, I have fader mode, and in fader mode, I have the same kind of fader control, but this time I'm able to send that MIDI signal out from the MIDI output. So the Launchpad Pro is a great RGB grid-based controller for Ableton Live, any Ableton Live performers or producers, but also it's a fantastic grid-based controller for any external MIDI-based equipment as well.